Good morning everyone, especially to Ma'am Lusminda Machete. So I am Christian Tialaco, one of the reporter for today. So my topic is the 9.2, facilitating a meaningful class discussions. So when you heard the word facilitating, so before we going to have our discussion in our classroom, so we need have rules and regulations. Just like we having our lesson plans, that we have our objectives or goals to follow, so that we will have a very good flow in our discussion in the classroom. So when you are facilitating engaging a meaningful class discussions in a fundamental aspect of higher education teaching. So class discussion provide a valuable opportunity for students to actively participate, critically analyze ideas, and develop their communication skills. So as we teacher, we need to facilitate them. So we need to have to guide them, to know them, and also understand each and everyone in our room. So most of the students have their talents in other ways. We need to respect them. So we have here the setting the stage for productions classroom discussions. So creating an atmosphere conducive to a fruitful classroom discussion is a crucial for student to engagement and participation. Here are some strategies to consider. We have 4. So first, we have the establishing the ground rules. So to promote a respectful and inclusive discussions, one important class discussion strategy is establishing a clear expectation and guidelines. So we need to have ground rules, or the rules and regulation in our classroom, so that we will have a flow that is very peaceful environment in our classroom. So it helps the student being very participate in our class discussions, and also encourage them to embrace diversity perspectives and create a safe space where everyone else feels comfortable sharing their thoughts. So we need being a very good teacher for them, so that they will being going to be a good in communication skills. So building a rapport and trust. So this is the time that nurturing a supportive classroom environment where students feel valued and respected. So being a teacher, we need to being a very helpful for them, to give them a trust. Kay being a teacher, this is the time that we need to understand each of one of our students. So because some of them are having a bad time in their homes, so we need to being very good for them, being helpful for them, encourage them, appreciate them, because we don't know how each of our students are like in their homes. So take time to learn their names, demonstrate a genuine interest, and also knowing their each of everyone background, so that you will understand why is the student are very naughty, or some of them are not participated in the classroom. So you need to understand each of everyone. So one of them are knowing their names, appreciating them, and then telling them how to become a good student, and also to their homes. So in the class, being a teacher, we need also to be just like a second mother. So we need to understand each of everyone, so that we will have a good classroom participations. So when students trust that their voices will be heard and respected, they will be more likely to actively participate in class discussions strategies in the classroom. So being a teacher, we need to be good for them. So just like me as a intern before, nga some of the students would like to raise their hands because they wanted to answer it. So I will give each and everyone for them to have a time to answer, share their thoughts, so that they can feel the value of each everyone, para di sila kuan bitaw ma-out of place. So, because some of students will say, ma'am would like the front try pansiron kay mga bright. So, kaming tagalikod, di may pansiron kay mga naramis likod nga na mga di may bright nga na. So, we need to have kanang tawag na itong equal, being equal to each and everyone. Atong tagaan sila og mga importante kada usa. So, we need being the facilitator in a classroom. We need be magbantay jud ta sa usa-usa natong mga estudyante kay naiuban, dali ra masakit, dali ra mga mayubos, so mo nang ato ang bantayan gyud. Pero sa kadaghan nila aning kamutan jud na nato. So next we have the icebreaker activities. The very kuan kayo ni sa mga students paborito jud nila nga time ning icebreaker sa mot na ning panahon sa math kay murag sila magtunganga. So they need an icebreaker sa unsa pa nang subject, especially science. Kapuyan gyud na sila mamayo na usahay kay magbibog na madugayan kay daghang i-discuss ni ma'am. So commence and each discussion strategy example with icebreaker activities to help student feel more comfortable sharing their thoughts. So through our icebreaker, we also give the activity nga murag malingaw sila while na sila'y na-learn. Not only for fun, but also the learning of these students. So these activities can be as simple as a quick classroom discussion strategies or thought-provoking questions related to the topic at the hand. So icebreaker not only helps students become acquainted with one another, but it helps the student become a positive and welcoming atmosphere that sets the tones and serving a great strategy to engage student in the class discussion. So after that we will have a mga thoughts nga unsay lang na-learn after we have this icebreaker. So it will use their nerves nga ganan na sila mamina after ana kay murbidag nabuhi ilang mga dugo nga uban na to nang atog mabuhi kalit kito ana magduwa na ta ma'am activities ma'am icebreaker sa ma'am. So to help them to encourage to listen up to your discussions. So we have number 4, the setting clear learning objectives. So clearly communicate the learning objectives for each discussion session as a group discussion. Setting technique when the students understand and purpose of desired outcomes. They can be better focused their contributions and actively engage with a material. So this, as just like our lesson plan, we need our clear learning objectives para naatay good flow sa atohang discussion in the room. So mo na siyang kinahanglan nato nga najud ning objectives and goals during our discussion in our classroom. So by setting the stage for classroom discussions, so we have these discourse strategies and activities through the ground rules. So as I said, the ground rules, it's very helpful to our room discussion. So building a rapport, incorporating the icebreakers, and defining the clear and environment that encourage open dialogue and active engagement in the next sections. So we will have explored effective discussions, strategies for preparing and structuring the instructional strategies and classroom discussions to achieve the desired learning outcome. So with this help of the learning objectives, we will get our desired learning outcomes in our class discussion. So now we have the preparing for effective classroom discussions. So first we have the define the discussions goals. So before each discussion sessions, we need to be established clear objectives aligned with the course curriculum and the learning outcomes. So we need the learning outcome and follow the curriculum rules, diba? We have the curriculum and the learning outcomes. Second, we have the selecting the discussion topics. So we need to choose a topic that are very relevant to provoking and the aligned with the course objective. So we need always to follow the course objective before we create the discussions in our classroom. So next we have the preparing the discussions prompts, craft classroom discussion starters that encourage critical thinking, reflections, and the explorations of the multiple perspective. So we have number 4, we have the resource and materials preparation. So we gathered relevant resources such as the articles, the case studies, multimedia materials, and primary source to support the discussion topic. So when we have already the curriculum course, so we will have to get another source that is relevant to our discussions for our students. So we'll have, then that's the time we're going to put the link or where we have getting those case studies or the multimedia materials that our topic are relevant to these sources. So number 5, we have the structuring the discussion time. So consider the time allocation for discussions. Carefully determine whether the discussion will take place during the single class session or be spread across the multiple sessions. So, facilitating a dynamic and a meaningful classroom. Discussion is an art that requires a careful planning, a supportive environment, and effective strategies. By implementing the discussion strategies, classroom strategies outlined in this ultimate guide, you can foster engaging and a transformation learning experience for your students. So as your educator, you have the power to create a vibrant and interactive learning environment where students can explore diverse perspectives, challenge assumptions, and develop critical thinking skills. By mastering the art of facilitating the classroom discussions, you empower your students to become an active participants in their class learning. So that's all. Happy facilitating, your reporter, Miss Christine T. Olaco. Thank you for listening.